The massive space station that housed the Galactic Military Academy hung like a shining diamond against the black of space. Its many training domes and living quarters could hold over 10,000 students from across the galaxy. Today was special. For the first time ever, a human would join their ranks. Tajin Park stood at the viewing window of the transport ship, his black uniform neat and crisp. He was tall for a human at 6 feet 2 inches, with broad shoulders and a strong build from his years in Earth's military. His short black hair and clean-shaven face matched the perfect picture of what a cadet should look like. But to the aliens watching him, he was just another soft-bodied species that would probably fail the first week. Transport Ship 247, you are clear to dock at Bay 12, a voice said over the ship's speakers. Please prepare your passenger for standard gravity adjustment. Taijin smiled to himself. The aliens always worried about gravity changes. They didn't know that Earth's gravity was higher than most inhabited planets. To him, the station's gravity would feel light, almost comfortable. The ship docked with a gentle bump. Tajin picked up his single bag and walked to the exit. The door opened with a soft hiss, revealing 3 alien figures waiting for him. The tallest one stepped forward. Despite having blue-tinted skin and 4 arms, he wore a uniform similar to Tajin's. The name tag read Senior Drill Sergeant Do-Young Kim in both Galactic Standard and Earth English. Welcome to the Galactic Military Academy, Cadet Park, Do-Young said, his translator making his words clear. I trust the journey wasn't too difficult for your constitution. Tajin kept his face neutral, even though he wanted to laugh. No, sir. The journey was fine. Do-Young's upper set of arms crossed while his lower set held a datapad. You understand that this academy trains the galaxy's elite forces. We have very high standards. Yes, sir. That's why I'm here. The second alien, shorter with green scales and wearing a medical uniform, stepped closer. Her name tag showed Medical Officer Sun Mechoy. Cadet Park, we must check your vitals before processing, Sun Mai said. She held up a scanning device. Your species is new to us. We need to make sure our training won't harm you. Taijin stood still as she scanned him. Her eyes widened as she read the results. This can't be right, she muttered. Your bone density is almost 3 times our baseline. And your muscle mass, she tapped the scanner, must be malfunctioning. The third alien, Assistant Instructor Jeho Kang, looked at the readings. His crystal-like body sparkled under the base lights. The scanner is working perfectly, Doctor. Perhaps the human is simply unusual. Do-Young waved all 4 hands dismissively. Readings don't matter. The training course will show us what he's capable of. He looked at Tajin with his 3 eyes. You have 1 galactic week to complete basic training. That's standard for all species. Your Earth government agreed to these terms. 1 week? Tajin asked, remembering his briefing. A galactic week was about 8 Earth days. That seems like a long time for basics, sir. The 3 aliens exchanged looks. They thought he was complaining about the length. The course is designed to gradually adjust cadets to various environmental and physical challenges. Jeho explained slowly, as if talking to a child. Rushing would be dangerous. Taijin nodded, but inside he was thinking about Earth's basic training. 3 months of constant physical challenge, mental stress, and skill building compressed into their idea of basic training. This might be easier than he thought. Your quarters are in Block C, designed for oxygen-breathing species, Sun Mai said. We've adjusted the atmosphere mix to Earth standard. You'll start training tomorrow at first light. As they led him through the station's corridors, Tajin noticed other cadets watching him. Some had tentacles, others had wings, and a few were shapes he couldn't even describe. They whispered among themselves, probably betting how long the new soft species would last. His room was small but comfortable. There was a bed, a desk, and what looked like a food synthesizer programmed with Earth recipes. The gravity was noticeably lighter than Earth's, making him feel like he could jump and touch the 10-foot ceiling without trying. "Rest well, cadet," Du Young said as they left. "Tomorrow we'll test your limits." After they left, Ta Jin sat on his bed and pulled out his datapad. He opened the training schedule they'd sent him. 8 days to learn basic military procedures, physical training, and species cooperation. On Earth, they did more than this before breakfast. He lay back on the bed, which felt too soft, and smiled at the ceiling. His superiors on Earth had warned him not to show off, to take it easy and not frighten the aliens. They had explained that most species evolved on worlds with lower gravity, thinner atmospheres, and fewer predators than Earth. "Just try to blend in," they had said. "Don't break any records. Don't show your full capabilities." But as Ta Jin read through the training requirements, he realized that might be impossible. What they considered a difficult endurance test was barely a warm-up by Earth standards. Their extreme gravity training was still lighter than Earth normal. He closed his eyes, thinking about tomorrow. Maybe he could pretend to struggle a little, make it look hard. But deep down, he knew it wouldn't work. He was a soldier, trained to excel, not to hold back. "Sorry, sir," he muttered to his Earth commander who was light years away. "I don't think I can hide this one." The room's lights dimmed automatically, simulating Earth's day-night cycle. In the artificial darkness, Ta Jin thought about home, about the heavy gravity that had shaped human evolution, the dense atmosphere that gave them their endurance, and the countless predators that had forced humans to become what they were. Tomorrow, the aliens would learn why humans were classified as Deathworlders, and Ta Jin Park, the first human cadet in the Galactic Military Academy, would show them exactly what that meant. He fell asleep easily, his enhanced human physiology already adapted to the station's environment. In their offices, the alien staff was reviewing his medical scans, trying to understand what they were seeing. None of them slept well that night, worried about what tomorrow would bring. They had no idea that their worst fears wouldn't even come close to reality. In the quiet hours of the station's night cycle, as most species slept or entered their rest states, the Academy's computers were updating their databases. Under species classification, human, new data was being added. Words like extreme bone density, enhanced muscle structure, and accelerated healing filled the screen. But one word, flashing in red at the top of the file, would soon take on new meaning for everyone at the Academy. DEATHDER. The training dome's lights came on at what the station called first light. Ta Jin was already awake, doing push-ups in his room. The lighter gravity made his normal morning workout feel too easy, so he had been doing them with one arm. A chime at his door announced Drill Sergeant Hae-Newell Lee's arrival. The surgeon's crystalline body sparkled as they entered the room. They stopped short at seeing Ta Jin, who was barely sweating. "Cadet Park," Hae-Newell said, their translator making their chiming voice understandable. "You're exercising before assessment." Ta Jin stood and saluted. "Yes, sir. Just a light warm-up." Hae-Newell's crystal body flickered with confusion colors. "Warm-up? The assessment chamber will handle all physical preparation. Please follow me." They walked through corridors that were still quiet. Most species needed more rest time than humans, another fact the Academy would soon learn. Other cadets were just starting to wake up as Ta Jin and Hae-Newell reached the assessment chamber. The room was massive, with walls that could change to create different environments. Medical Officer Sun Ma-choi and Assistant Instructor Jae-ho Kang waited by the control panel. Senior Drill Sergeant Do-young Kim stood in the center, all four arms behind his back. "Cadet Park," Do-young said, "we will now assess your physical capabilities. This will help us design a safe training program for your unique physiology." Ta Jin stood at attention. "Ready, sir." "We'll start with standard gravity adjustments," Sun Mai said, checking her medical scanner. "We'll slowly increase from station normal to 2 Earth gravities," Ta Jin interrupted, then quickly added, "Sir, If that's acceptable, Earth gravity is already higher than station normal. The alien stared at him. Jiho checked the numbers on his screen. That's impossible, Jiho said. Your homeworld's gravity is that high, and you want to start at twice that. Yes, sir. It's what I usually train at. Do Young's 3 eyes blinked in sequence. Very well. Your species' stubbornness is noted. Begin assessment. The gravity increased slowly. At Earth normal, Tai Jin felt more comfortable. When it reached 2 Gs, he stayed standing straight while the aliens watched in shock. Vital signs are stable, Sun Mai reported, staring at her scanner. He's not even straining. Moving to environmental tests, Haenul announced, starting with temperature extremes. The room's temperature began to drop. Ta Jin's uniform automatically adjusted, but even without it, he knew he could handle much colder. Humans had survived Arctic conditions with primitive technology. This was nothing. -40 degrees, Jiho reported. No signs of distress. They raised the temperature next. Ta Jin started to sweat, but his body's cooling system worked perfectly. The aliens didn't know that humans were one of the few species that could run down prey through heat exhaustion. 40 degrees above baseline, Haenul said. Still functioning. Moving to atmospheric variation, Du Young ordered, all 4 arms now uncrossed in attention. The air became thinner, then thicker. They added different gas mixtures that would kill many species. Ta Jin's enhanced lungs handled it all. When they added particles to the air, his nose filtered them efficiently. This is unprecedented, Sun Mai whispered, her scales changing color with excitement. Their atmospheric adaptation range is beyond our charts. Do Young stepped forward. Cadet Park, are you using any artificial enhancements, genetic modifications? No, sir, Ta Jin replied truthfully. This is natural human capability. The room fell silent. The aliens looked at each other, their various expressions of shock clear even across species barriers. Moving to physical assessment, Haenul announced finally. Standard obstacle course, maximum difficulty. The room changed. Walls rose from the floor, creating a complex maze. Barriers appeared that needed climbing, gaps that needed jumping, and weights that needed lifting. Begin when? Haenul started, but Ta Jin was already moving. He ran through the course like it was a playground. The lighter gravity made jumping easier. His dense muscles made lifting simple. His endurance kept his breathing steady. He finished the course in minutes. That's impossible, Jiho said, checking the time. The record for that course is 30 minutes. He did it in 3. Run it again, Du Young ordered. Double the difficulty. Ta Jin ran it again. And again. Each time they made it harder. Each time he finished faster as he learned the patterns. The aliens' panic grew with each round. Should we stop this? Sun Mai asked, her scales now a pale green. His heart rate has barely elevated. No, Du Young said. Full combat assessment. Now. Training robots emerged from the walls. They were designed to test combat reflexes without causing harm. Ta Jin smiled. Finally, something interesting. The robots attacked. Ta Jin moved with speed that shocked the observers. Earth's higher gravity had made humans faster, stronger, more agile. In the station's lighter gravity, he could show his full capabilities. He disabled the first robot with a precise strike to its control center. The second, he threw into the third. The fourth tried to grab him, but human reflexes were faster than its programming. Within minutes, all the training robots were down. Enough. Du Young shouted. All 4 of his arms were shaking. Assessment complete. Ta Jin stood at attention again, barely breathing hard. The aliens huddled together, talking in low voices. This changes everything, Sun Mai was saying. If this is normal for them. The training program won't work, Haenul added. He'll finish it too fast. We need to contact Earth Command, Jai-Ho suggested. Ask about their real capabilities. Do-Young turned back to Ta-Jin. Cadet Park, report to your quarters. We need to adjust the training schedule. Sir, Ta-Jin said, when do we start the real training? This was just warm-up, right? The aliens stared at him again. Their various physiologies showed different signs of stress. Sun Mi's scales were almost white. Jai-Ho's crystal body was vibrating. Hae-Newell's light patterns were chaotic. Even Do-Young's professional demeanor cracked. Dismissed, Cadet, Do-Young said weakly. Just dismissed. As Ta-Jin left the assessment chamber, he heard the aliens arguing about training protocols and species classifications. He hadn't meant to cause such confusion, but humans were what they were. Millions of years evolving on a death world had made them tough. In his room, Ta-Jin checked the time. The assessment had taken 1 hour. According to his schedule, it should have taken a full day. He lay on his bed, wondering what the aliens would come up with next. On his datapad, a new message appeared. It was from Earth Command. Cadet Park, we received preliminary assessment data. Remember what we said about not showing off. Ta-Jin typed back. Sorry, sir. I tried to take it easy. This was me taking it easy. The response came quickly. We know. That's what worries us. Stand by for updated protocols. And try not to break anything else today. Ta-Jin smiled. He had a feeling the next few days would be very interesting. The aliens would either learn to adapt to human capabilities, or they would panic completely. Based on their reactions so far, he was betting on panic. Medical Officer Sun Mi-Choi sat in her office, staring at her computer screen. The data from Cadet Park's assessment filled multiple displays. She had been studying it for hours, trying to understand what she was seeing. This cannot be right, she muttered, her scales shifting to a deep blue of concentration. No species should be able to adapt this quickly. She pulled up the classified files about Earth that had just arrived from the Galactic Council. As she read, her scales turned white with shock. Earth wasn't just a heavy gravity world. It was a death world, a planet so dangerous that most species would die within hours of landing there. A knock at her door made her jump. Assistant Instructor Jai-Ho Kang entered, his crystal body dimmed with worry. Dr. Choi, he said, have you seen the latest training numbers? Cadet Park just completed the weekly endurance course in 15 minutes. Sun Mi nodded slowly. I've been reading about Earth. Jai-Ho, they have predators there. Active predators. Their entire evolution was shaped by having to run from things that wanted to eat them. Surely you're exaggerating. No. Look at this. She showed him the Earth files. They have animals called tigers and bears that can tear apart most sentient species. They have tiny creatures called mosquitoes that drink blood. Even their plant life can be deadly. Jai-Ho's crystal structure paled. And they survived this. How? They became predators themselves, Sun Mi explained. Their bodies adapted to run long distances, fight effectively, and heal quickly. What we consider extreme conditions are normal for them. The door opened again. Senior Drill Sergeant Do-Young Kim stormed in, all 4 arms moving in agitation. The human has finished another week's worth of training in under an hour, he announced. We need to do something. We can't stop him. Sun Mi said. According to regulations, as long as a cadet shows no signs of distress, they must be allowed to progress at their own pace. No signs of distress. Do-Young's 3 eyes blinked rapidly. He's barely sweating. He asked for harder challenges. Senior staff member Yum-Ho-Ba joined them, his feathered crest flat with concern. We need to suspend the training. This is unprecedented. On what grounds? Jai-Ho asked. He's passing every test perfectly. His vital signs are stable. He's following all protocols. He's scaring the other cadets. Yum-Ho said. They saw him lift a maintenance robot with one hand when it needed repairs. The maintenance robot weighs as much as 4 cadets. Sun Mei pulled up more Earth data. According to this, humans regularly lift heavy weights for recreation. They call it working out. They deliberately stress their muscles to make them stronger. The aliens stared at each other in silence. The idea of voluntarily making exercise harder was foreign to most species. There's more, Sun Mei continued. They have sports where they deliberately crash into each other. Games where they throw themselves off high places into water. Activities called extreme sports that seem designed to risk death. Are they insane? Young Ho's feathers puffed out in distress. No, Sun Mei said. They're Deathworlders. Their entire psychology is built around overcoming challenges. The harder something is, the more they want to do it. A loud alarm interrupted them. Ji-Ho checked his communicator, and his crystal structure turned almost transparent with shock. Cadet Park has entered the final challenge chamber, he reported. He's attempting the leadership scenarios. Those are supposed to take 2 days. Du Young shouted. He's only been here for 3 hours. They rushed to the observation room overlooking the challenge chamber. Inside, Tai Jin was calmly directing a team of training robots through a complex rescue scenario. The simulation involved toxic atmosphere, high radiation, and multiple mechanical failures. Look at his problem-solving speed, Ji-Ho said, checking the data. He's processing information faster than our computers can generate new challenges. It's the predator instinct, Sun Mei explained. Humans evolved to make quick decisions while under threat. Their brains work faster when stressed. But he's not stressed, Young Ho pointed out. Look at his vital signs. He's treating this like a casual exercise. They watched as Ta Jin completed scenario after scenario. Leadership challenges that usually took days were solved in minutes. Combat simulations that should have been impossible became training exercises. The human moved through them all with efficient grace. We have to report this to the Galactic Council, Young Ho said. If all humans are like this. They are, Sun Mei confirmed. Maybe even stronger. Remember, Cadet Park is trying not to show off. The room fell silent as they considered the implications. Humans weren't just another species joining the galactic community. They were Deathworlders who had mastered their harsh environment so completely that they made it look easy. Check his current status, Du Young ordered. Ji-Ho pulled up the latest data. He's nearly finished the entire week's training program. All that's left is the final combat simulation. The one that's supposed to be impossible to complete alone. Young Ho asked, his feathers completely flat now. That's the one, Ji-Ho confirmed. They watched the screens as Ta Jin entered the final challenge chamber. The room would create the most difficult combat scenario in the Academy's database. It was designed to teach cadets the importance of teamwork by being impossible for a single person to complete. No one had told Ta Jin this. Should we stop him? Young Ho asked. Regulations state we cannot intervene unless the cadet shows signs of distress. Du Young quoted, all 4 arms crossed tightly. Besides, Sun Mei added, her scales shifting to a curious green. I want to see what he does. The final challenge began. The room filled with holographic enemies, environmental hazards, and complex obstacles. It was designed to overwhelm any single cadet's capabilities. Ta Jin smiled. Did he just smile? Young Ho's feathers puffed out again. Why is he smiling? According to the Earth files, Sun Mei said, checking her data, humans often enjoy impossible challenges. They have a saying, hold my beer. What's a beer? Ji-Ho asked. I don't know, but apparently humans say it right before doing something incredibly dangerous. They watched as Tai Jin moved through the challenge with surprising speed. He didn't try to fight every enemy. Instead, he used the environment to his advantage, making holographic enemies crash into each other, using obstacles as weapons. He's treating it like a predator would, Sun Mei observed, conserving energy, using the environment, thinking strategically. This is impossible, Young Ho muttered. The scenario is designed to need at least 4 cadets. Humans evolved hunting in groups, Sun Mai explained. They understand team tactics instinctively. He's fighting as if he has a team, but he's playing all the roles himself. The challenge, designed to take 6 hours with a full team, was over in 20 minutes. Ta Jin stood in the center of the room, breathing slightly harder than normal, but otherwise fine. Week 1 training complete, the computer announced. Time elapsed. 3 hours, 15 minutes. New academy record set. The aliens looked at each other in stunned silence. Finally, Du Young spoke. "We need to prepare for more human cadets," he said quietly. "They're going to change everything." Sun Li nodded, her scales shifting to a bright color of excitement. "Maybe that's not a bad thing. We've been training soldiers the same way for centuries. Perhaps we need some Deathworlder perspective." As they discussed the implications, Ta Jin's voice came through the speaker system. "Excuse me, sirs," he said politely. "Is there a more advanced program available? This was a good warm-up, but I'm ready for something more challenging." Yum-Ho fainted, his feathers floating gently to the floor around him. The Galactic Military Academy would never be the same. Chief Administrator Min Seo Kwan walked through the quiet halls of the Galactic Military Academy. The normal sounds of training had stopped. Most cadets were in their quarters, talking about what they had seen today. A human had completed the entire first-week training program in just over 3 hours. Min Seo entered the main conference room, where the Academy's senior staff had gathered. Medical Officer Sun Mai Choi was showing Earth files on the main screen. Senior Drill Sergeant Du Yum Kim sat with all 4 arms crossed. Assistant Instructor Jai Ho Kang's crystal body flickered with nervous energy. Senior staff member Yum-Ho Ba had recovered from his fainting spell, but his feathers were still ruffled. "Report," Min Seo ordered, her holographic form shifting colors with authority. Chief Administrator Du Yum began. "Cadet Park has completed all first-week training modules. His performance exceeded every academy record in our database." "That's impossible," Min Seo said. "The training is designed to take a full week. The fastest completion before this was 5 days." "Ma'am," Sun Ma stepped forward, her scales a professional shade of blue. "I've been studying Earth's files. Humans are not just another species. They are true Deathworlders." Min Seo's holographic form flickered with interest. "Explain." Sun Li displayed more Earth data. "Their planet has higher gravity than most inhabited worlds. Their atmosphere is thick with oxygen, making them extremely efficient at processing energy. They evolved alongside active predators, which made them both prey and predator. But their technology level," Min Seo started, "is impressive because of their environment, not despite it." Jai Ho interrupted. "They had to become smart to survive. Their bodies and minds evolved to overcome constant challenges." Yum-Ho's feathers twitched. "They see our training program as too easy. Cadet Park asked for more difficult challenges after completing everything we had." Min Seo's holographic form shifted to a deep color of concern. "Show me his performance data." They played recordings of Ta Jin's training. The human moved through every challenge with ease. Environmental hazards barely slowed him down. Combat simulations became simple exercises. Leadership scenarios were solved in minutes instead of days. "This changes everything," Min Seo said finally. "Our entire training program is based on gradually building capabilities. But humans already have those capabilities." Sun Ma finished. "Their normal life on Earth is more challenging than our most difficult training." A message appeared on the main screen. It was from Earth's military command. "Greetings, Academy Administration. We understand our cadet has completed your training program. We apologize for any confusion this may have caused. We should have been more clear about human capabilities. Would you like us to withdraw Cadet Park?" Min Seo looked at her staff. Du Young spoke first. "No," he said firmly. "We don't need to withdraw him. We need to learn from him." "Agreed," Sun Mai added. "This is an opportunity. Humans have survived conditions that would kill most species. They could teach us new survival techniques. Their problem-solving abilities are remarkable, Jai-Ho noted. They think faster under pressure than our best computers can calculate. Young-Ho's feathers slowly raised with excitement. We could create new training programs based on human standards, raise the capabilities of all our cadets. Min Seo's holographic form brightened. She sent a reply to Earth Command. Withdrawal unnecessary. Request permission to accept more human cadets. Also request information about Earth training methods. We believe cooperation would benefit all species. The response came quickly. Permission granted. Sending training data. Warning. Human training methods may seem extreme to non-Deathworld species. Suggest gradual implementation. Min Seo turned to her staff. We have work to do. Sun Mai, study all Earth medical data. I want to understand their capabilities fully. Du Young, start designing new training programs. Ji-Ho, upgrade our simulation systems. Young-Ho, prepare the other cadets for changes. What about Cadet Park? Du Young asked. Where is he now? Jai-Ho checked his datapad. In the gym, ma'am. He said something about a light workout since training finished early. They pulled up the gym's security feed. Ta Jin was doing one-armed push-ups in triple normal gravity while reading an academy textbook propped in front of him. Is he studying while exercising? Young-Ho's feathers puffed in disbelief. Humans call it multitasking. Sun Mai explained. They do it frequently. Min Seo watched the screen thoughtfully. Send him to my office when he's done. I want to discuss advanced training options. Ma'am, Du Young said carefully. All our advanced training programs were designed for normal species. They might be too easy for him. Then we'll make new ones, Min Seo decided. If humans can push themselves this hard, we can push ourselves to adapt our teaching. The staff nodded in agreement. As they left to begin their tasks, Min Seo stayed watching the security feed. Ta Jin had finished his push-ups and moved on to lifting weights that were meant for maintenance robots. Her holographic form shifted to a color of anticipation. The Galactic Military Academy had trained countless species over thousands of years. Now they would learn from a species that treated their most difficult challenges as warm-up exercises. In the gym, Ta Jin finished his workout and checked his messages. Earth Command had sent him new instructions. Cadet Park, you are authorized to assist in updating Academy training programs. Share human training methods as requested. Remember, what's normal for us is extreme for them. Be patient, be kind, but don't hold back anymore. Show them what humans can really do. Ta Jin smiled as he headed for the Chief Administrator's office. He had a feeling the Academy's definition of impossible was about to change. Behind him, in the gym, the weight set he had been using displayed its maximum capacity, 2,000 kilograms. He had been lifting it with one hand. The age of humans in the Galactic Military Academy had begun. The aliens would adapt, or they would panic. Either way, it would be interesting.